Dear Rachel Zegler, dear Peter Dinklage, dear Disney and everyone else involved in the mishap that is the live-action Snow White remake, look out and get out of the way. Warwick Davis, the most prolific little-person actor in the history of Hollywood, has much to say, and it's time for an exclusive brought to you by the journalistic efforts of this channel and That Park Place.
And I just think it looks pretty scary almost. It's just not a good look.
Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we are uncovering the truths you need to hear, helping everyone out there, including actors in Hollywood, make their voices heard. Today, folks, as we get ready to dive into this exclusive content, consider clicking the like button, and let's get underway. We are here to tell you that the Rachel Zegler Snow White movie has been an absolute disaster. It is not the first time, however, that we have seen actors well-suited to playing small stature characters treated poorly. No, that has been going on now for a few years in Hollywood. And Warwick Davis, the man who has played in Star Wars franchises, who has played on the Harry Potter movies, who was Willow himself, he has had enough. Here's the exclusive, folks. Get ready. This is out of thatparkplace.com. It says Warwick Davis, unhappy about dwarf actor exclusion in Hollywood, says it's a shame. Very different than Peter Dinklage. And I'm sorry, Mr. Dinklage, although Warwick Davis might be too kind to say this, I have no such proclivity to not do so. Warwick Davis is a much bigger star than Peter Dinklage. Warwick Davis is not pleased with how dwarf actors are being treated as of late in Hollywood, and he thinks his voice should be heard. We've got the exclusive video in just a moment. One of the most famous short actors in the history of Hollywood is striking a decidedly different tone than Peter Dinklage when it comes to how characters of a smaller stature are being cast. In an exclusive interview with That Park Place and Force of Light Entertainment, Davis had interesting commentary on the current situation with Disney and broader Hollywood. Davis is a prolific actor, having worked in multiple starring roles for major franchises like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Leprechaun, Willow, and more. When Warwick speaks, Hollywood should listen. Regarding the Walt Disney Company and its upcoming Rachel Zegler Snow White live-action remake, Warwick Davis confirmed he had not been contacted by Disney regarding the movie at any time. This is shocking, considering Mr. Davis is a true star and could have provided a large amount of gravitas to the importance of the tale. Who else could have ever played the role of Doc better than Warwick Davis? When asked why he thought Disney didn't reach out to him at any point, he replied, "It seems they're moving in a different direction." Again, this exclusive to That Park Place reporters. Later, during an ICCC question and answer panel in Nashville, Tennessee, Mr. Davis was asked again about the current situation with dwarf actors being excluded from roles by a Hollywood system that seems to favor CGI or digitally altered taller actors. After the question by investigative reporter Jonas J. Campbell, Warwick Davis did not hold back. Now, folks, we could read this to you, but I think it's better to hear it from the man himself. So let's go down. And, folks, here it is. Jonas J. Campbell, investigative reporter, asking Warwick Davis the question. We send our people to these things to make sure you get the information you need. Here we go.
Right over here, Long. I was going this way. Faster. Come on. You started late. Please stand.
Hi, my wife is very jealous of me that I get to ask you a question today. You talked about your opportunity that came from them putting in the paper an ad asking for little people, and like they're going to be in a few years casting this new Harry Potter series, and like your son, which it's now occurring to me why his name is Harrison, was in Rise of Skywalker. But there's this thing going on where people are wanting to be inclusive but also have representation. But I think in the name of inclusivity, they're maybe saying that they're not going to hire short people for some of these roles. I just wanted to know what you think about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. More recently, you're seeing lots of sort of short fictional characters being portrayed by average size actors who have been shrunk digitally. I mean, at first I kind of excused it by thinking, well, there's not really the pool of talent to draw from to cast, all the characters in Lord of the Rings, for example. So I kind of excuse that for happening, but recently they're doing it more and more, and I just think it looks pretty scary almost. It's just not a good look. And it is a shame because there's a lot of very talented short actors in the world who are not getting a chance to do what they do. Some of them have trained for years to do this, and they're just not getting a look in. You know, it'd be wrong to cast somebody as a disabled person in a wheelchair with a kind of able-bodied actor, I think. But they do it with short people all the time. So yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I'm not actively kind of campaigning, but no, it'd be nice if my voice was heard on these issues. Thank you.
That was a good question.
And as you can hear, folks, the audience was clapping for Jonas J. Campbell and the question he had asked, and rewarded greatly with a tremendous answer. Mr. Davis, you think your voice should be heard, and we are happy to make sure that is the case. Now, this is in apparent response, although not directly and not specifically, but we believe that it is at least passively in response to what Peter Dinklage had to say. I want to play that for you now so you can hear what the opposing viewpoint is. Here's Mr. Dinklage.
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the f are you doing, man?
Peter Dinklage isn't feeling Disney's upcoming live-action remake of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
There's a lot of hypocrisy going on, I gotta say, from being somebody who's a little bit unique.
The Game of Thrones star, who has a former...
Now, folks, what is it that Peter Dinklage is saying? Well, he doesn't want dwarfs portrayed by dwarfs. In fact, he doesn't want dwarfs portrayed at all. Peter Dinklage seems to want to kick out the steps from behind him so that others cannot follow in his path. Warwick Davis does not believe so, apparently. It says, ultimately, it would seem in everyone's best interest if short actors are given the roles they've worked so hard to earn. When CGI is used to manufacture faux dwarfs, rather than hiring real dwarfs for the role, the result is a synthetic ugliness, both artistically and for the industry. The world has moved on from a darker time when differently bodied persons were treated as exotic freaks to be paraded about for looking differently than locals were accustomed to seeing. In today's society, this author hopes that whether you're tremendously tall or spectacularly short, you're still perceived as a dignified human being. By the way, folks, we hope that that's the perception because it's the reality. It always has been the reality. If you are a human being, you should be treated with kindness and with dignity, flat out, period. And you should also be treating others that way. Playing shorter characters shouldn't be seen as a negative for shorter actors. A world in which we rejoice at the success of Shaquille O'Neal and Warwick Davis, despite their height disparities from the norm, is a world we might all want to live in. For Disney, this is yet another blow for their Snow White movie, which has seen no shortage of blows. Of course, Rachel Zegler has been out there declaring that Snow White don't need no man. She don't need no prince, and he's a stalker in the original. She came out and said that she would not be bleaching her skin for this one. And in case you've forgotten, that was the original salvo launched against fans and against Disney. Zegler doing it, she was the preemptor. Now we've got the dwarf issue back in the headlines. And folks, we're so happy to have been able to give a voice to Warwick Davis because up until this point, apparently no journalist in the last 2 years decided, hey, maybe we should give time to Warwick Davis to give his thoughts on this. And I think it's about time he did. Of course, he has been iconic, truly. And don't forget as well that Disney did him dirty in our estimation because when it came time to do the Willow series, for which he is famous for, what made Willow fail? Well, it wasn't about Willow anymore. It wasn't about Warwick Davis's character, and we think that was out of character with any kind of success model that could have been had. Bad, Lucasfilm, bad. George would do better because he would know better. Rachel Zegler and those behind Snow White clearly don't know better. Folks, we're here to tell you it is a shame, a true shame that Warwick Davis has not even been consulted by Disney. The amount of work he has done for them is huge. Never even consulted. Never will he appear in the credits for this. Never reached out to a single time about the Snow White movie. That should have happened because he could have guided them into a better direction, and he would have done it with an authentic voice, which is what they so often say they so desire. Folks, it's yet another murky place for Disney to be when it comes to this Snow White. Next up, we'll find out how Rachel Zegler is going to fight the fans more But for today, we simply say this is a chance for Hollywood to re-examine the way that they're treating shorter actors and give them the grand roles they deserve. Warwick, we stand with you, sir. Folks, you can like, share, and subscribe, and it sure will help us out. Also, click it and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts about this subject. And folks, we say to everyone who may be in the path of the upcoming hurricane, please take precaution. Be safe. Your life comes first. Your family's lives come first. This is increasingly becoming a very scary situation. We also encourage those out there who may be participating and owning smaller YouTube channels covering Disney. We know that you might see this as an opportunity to do things to get ahead by covering the storm well, and you are to be applauded for that. However, please note that this is not a typical hurricane, and it could have devastating consequences. Be careful, extraordinarily careful. If you choose to cover this in any news capacity, make sure that you maintain your safety and that you are not in the way of any first responders, nor companies, nor communities working to clean up the mess. You should not be an active part of the story by trying to cover the story. Folks, we know many of you are out there suffering because of weather-related situations. We're praying for you. We are doing what we can, secretly as best we can, because we don't believe in being braggadocious about it. But folks, we wish you well. Take care, and no matter what happens, keep learning, keep growing. As always, keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube.
Huh?
Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube. One of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga. He's Jose. That one seems a little bit foreign to you.